I also think in the new world, you know, the concept of clock in, clock out is, you know, pretty much dead and buried, you know, in the type of, you know, digital work, for example.
Yeah.
So I think companies are more interested in deliverables and also more flexible, we're finding, to part-time work. So maybe it's keep doing what you're doing for 3 days a week instead of 5, and then use the other 2 days to try and, you know, start whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So I think the world's more open to that than maybe it was, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the way I view our workplace in at Creative Factory is that there's 24 hours a day, but there is 7 days, but I'd like to keep that to 5, because I do feel that we need to rest and recover. I do feel that if we're going to be on our A game, that we can't be doing that 7 days a week. We do need to have that diversity to rest and recover, to be front and center, to have concentration, to have the ability to execute at that high level of excellence that we seek each day, 5 days a week. So the way I approach it with my staff is that there are tasks, there are deadlines, there are meetings. However you achieve that within the 24 hours, I'm okay with that, because I think that we need to be agile in our approach, because we are all different. We all do perform better at different times of the day. You know, I'm an early riser. I get up early. I do, you know, some of my work very on. Then I go into, you know, my physical activity, and then I'm back at my desk. So, you know, I can't expect everyone to have the same timeline of performance that I do. So we've got that bracket of 24 hours. Achieve what you need to in the time that works best for you, and all the different things that you've got going on in your life.
Yeah, it's interesting, actually. And I'd like to get your advice and what you think and what you say to your teams around the rest and recover piece, because we hear it a lot that people are finding it hard to switch off because, you know, are we working from home or are we now living at work is the great debate. So how in this new world, what are any tips and tricks to rest and recover? Because I know people are saying, hey, I get up, I pretty much might do some exercise, have a coffee, work all day, have some food, you know, repeat.
Yeah. Well, I do think rest and recovery is exceptionally important. I think that, you know, we all need to bring a form of creativity to our workplace each and every day. And creativity needs a lot of energy, and it also needs breaks to find that ability to think differently, dream, strategize, come up with new techniques, come up with better ways of efficiency. And so the way I take it on, and I advise some of my staff, is to find some structure, to plan out your day, to find some disciplines that enables you to have the ability to find that creativity, have the ability to have downtime, have the ability to find that thinking time, so that structure day in, day out enables you to get in the groove, get in the zone, so that you can back it up the next day and not find ourselves being burnt out. Because as you say, you know, we are now in this new environment, and this new environment negates our ability to get in the car, drive to work. It negates our ability to go for a quick walk down the street to get a coffee with our colleagues. So we are now, you know, finding these breaks in the day that does give us this time to rest and reflect, taken away from us. So, but I do believe that we still need to instill that into our daily practices, because otherwise it is a monotonous momentum that sees us at the end of the day, at the end of the week, the end of the month, burnt out and not enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah. So there's a lot of leaders joining us today, and it's interesting though, and I completely get, when do you do your best work, and then working on different things. For me in the morning, it might be writing or whatever it might be for different people. Some people are more nocturnal, but that's sort of very contemporary thinking. What advice or any ideas for people who are working in, you know, large companies that might have more of we still see a lot of that traditional hierarchies in companies. So how can leaders who embrace your contemporary thinking, shall we say, get some of this through in companies that's still a bit staid? And last year, a lot of people said, oh, yeah, we're going to change a lot, but humans are creatures of habit. Lots of businesses, as soon as they could get back people in the office, tried to do exactly that. So can you offer any counsel to leaders how they can try and move companies from the old world into this new contemporary way of working?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, and that's change. We are, as humans, resistant to change. Yep. But the fact is that we need to embrace change.
Yep, definitely.
And change is scary. Change is a discussion of conflict, and that's also something humans don't like is conflict. And I'm finding in the workplace at the moment is that you've got barriers of different demographics.
Yeah.
And so often, you've got people in leadership that come from a very traditional background. They've had their success from that traditional background. They've worked 9 to 5 days a week for a very long time, and they've risen the company and the organization to see that success. But it is time to change, and I think that we need to be persistent in that change so that we can grow probably faster, more effectively, and more efficiently as organizations. Our skill sets are actually changing and growing at a faster pace than ever before, because we now have access for learning and education at the tip of our fingers. So if we don't embrace change, we're only going to slow down that progress. So I think it's having those difficult conversations, those conversations of conflict with those that don't see that change, that see that vision quite yet. Yeah. And, it's diving in the deep end and approaching it. And don't be, I guess, disappointed by the first conversation, because I think that is that continual conversation and, making suggestions and being proactive and being positive that eventually we'll see that change take place.
Yeah, fantastic. You were speaking about visualization and that being an important strategy to you. Can you talk a bit about visualization and then lead that into how that links up with perhaps resilience, and when the concept of resilience was something that you started to really, pursue seriously?
Yeah, absolutely. So visualization, I believe, is a secret tool, and I would love you all to, if you don't already, just try it, because it's been a secret tool for me for many years. I learned it as an innate skill as a 10-year-old leading up to the World Championships. I just love trampolining. I couldn't get enough of it. So at night, after training for my 3-4 hours that day, I would actually rehearse my routines in my head as I went to sleep. And all of a sudden I could actually feel it. I could see it. I could feel my leotard. I could feel the weight of my body into the trampoline mat. I could feel the warmth of the room. And then all of a sudden, in the lead up to the World Championships, I started thinking about how I was going to compete. And I enabled myself to be able to compete my routines at the absolute perfection. And then I took it a step further and imagined myself on the dais winning the gold medal.
Yeah.
That was such a powerful experience at age 10. Yeah. I then have taken that skill set into all walks of my life. And if I truly believe, if you have a dream, if you can visualize that dream, you can believe that dream, and then you can achieve it. Yeah. And I truly think the power of the mind being able to see something enables you to believe it. And when you believe in something, there is nothing stopping you from achieving it.
Fantastic. I'm really interested to know if anyone's got any examples of visualization that they could share in the chat function. I don't mind kicking it off. So I recently did the Great Ocean Road Marathon with Pete Langerfeld, our videographer. I'd been stuck on a number of marathons and I really wanted to get to a certain number for whatever reason. And so I really visualized, because I've got a bad knee, break it down, this 5K, this 10K. And that really helped me get through it, really, alongside listening to podcasts. And so when did you start thinking about resilience seriously then, Maggie?
So I guess resilience came to me when I was fought with that adversity, as before the Sydney Olympics. And, I think that's when I realized truly the power of the mind.
Yeah.
And it was taking everything within me to overcome the state of mind I was in. Now, it wasn't my physical injury had have healed by then. So it was just the state of mind. It wasn't my inability to be back up front and center, fit and on the diving boards. It was just my mindset holding me back. So that was a huge learning journey for me. And once I conquered that, I realized that it's not actually about the skill sets, the experience, the understanding, the purpose and the passion that we all have in different ways. It's actually about the mindset. And it's the mindset in a number of facets, but most importantly is the resilience, because resilience is needed on a daily basis. What gets us up, what gets us going, it enables us to tackle the adversity that comes in our life, whether it's small or quite large. And all of us are faced with adversity, and we need that resilience to tap into to obviously continue going, especially through hard times that we're going through now.
Absolutely. And so do you think with resilience, you have your sort of your formula that works for your mind, and what do you do on the days where we all have days where we're just struggling, particularly at the moment, the perennial lockdowns, and someone said to me, in Victoria, we're going to have snap openings as opposed to snap lockdowns. And so how do you deal with, there are days when we all just feel pretty average about what's going on out there, and other days when, we put our best foot forward. So yeah. Does the concept and how you approach resilience needs to sort of be flexible for how you're feeling each day?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And, I'd be lying here to say that, I wake up every day feeling wonderful. But what I do have is structure and discipline. Yeah. I have a very, very structured lifestyle. I always have. I learned that as a young age. The structure enables me to, no matter how I'm feeling, what my mindset is at, whether it's a dark and gloomy day or a beautiful sunny one, that structure enables me to follow a routine that works for me. And then it's the discipline that I ensure that I go through those tasks that make me be the best version of me on a daily basis. Yeah. Now, there's days that I don't necessarily want to get up and jump out and go for that 5K, 10K, 20K run. I too have done a marathon, and that does take a lot of effort and energy. But it's the structure and the discipline that enables me to have some ticks in my daily life. There's nothing better than ticking something off the list. And now I'm not religious about striking things off a list, but I do have that structure that enables me to do some things in my daily routine that makes me feel good. And I think that when we're doing positive things for ourselves, that assists in our self-esteem, that assists in us feeling good, not only about ourselves, but about our friends, family, our work, that enables us to really find that little bit of something to get through a hard and gloomy day.